88.5 Soufriere FM is now 3 minutes moving upward to the hour of 11 a.m. in Surface and Ocean, of course, the Eastern Caribbean. We're back inside, and this time it's actually to update you with the approaching weather system. In a studio with me, we have Soufriere Constituency Council, we have NEMO, we have the DR office. And they're all here to actually update you with what is happening, the necessary tips that you need to actually take into consideration and to stay safe amid this approaching system. Good morning to you guys. What a wonderful panel I have with me this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning once again. I will allow anyone to actually step to the microphone to actually maybe again like we said the approaching system and to caution residents as well, looking at our sea beavers as well, our vessel operators, even our residents in terms of the tree cutting, and given the prime minister's address last night with the early closure of businesses as well. So you need to get your dry goods if you have to as well, even for road users, areas prone to flooding and landslides. But hey, let it not come from me, but the professionals are here more or less to inform you.
Yes, good morning, everybody. My fellow people from Soufriere and surroundings, in fact, St. Lucians. I am Placid Lascaris, charged with the responsibility for disaster preparedness in Soufriere. And I can say humbly that I have a dedicated team of volunteers who will assist in the time of disaster and recovery. It's very early in the hurricane season, and we have been graced with Brett, Tropical Storm Brett. Now, it's a surprise for the whole world, I think, so early in the Atlantic hurricane season that we have been approached with
21 days in 22 days?
22 days into the month. We've been approached with a tropical storm. However, what I need to advise the residents is that if you feel you are not safe somewhere, please find a friend, find a relative to go to their homes. We need to alert you that during the passage of the storm, you will not find no one risking their life to come and save you where you are. So the first option is yours. You move to either higher ground or safety by your people. NEMO is not responsible to open any shelters before any storm. NEMO is a reactionary force which will operate after the disaster. We are advising you that to take precautionary measures wherever possible in the event that we may need to rescue somebody. We do have the fire service, the police on board that may effect such a practice, but it has to be done safely because we need to put ourselves first. Our volunteers need to be safe because we don't have Robin Hood, we don't have Superman, we don't have Batman among us. So we cannot effect any rescues during any storms. I'm saying that because I know my people in my community, how they operate. Yeah, we like to wait on the last moment. A disaster is, the approaching storm is nothing to wait on for last moment. The coordinates are there. We know that we are in the space in the track of the storm, so we need to stay safe and be prepared. One of the things you need to do early enough is get one second. Tell him I'll be there shortly. Is to get our dry goods in stock, put home, get water, adequate water supply, batteries for your radios, flashlights, candles. Let's keep a stock of that because it's very early and we don't know what else is coming behind. But I can advise you that we are in the path of the storm. Keep tuned to the radio, and then you will get all the information you need. Also, what I can say to you is be your brother's keeper at this time. I thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Mr. DTA?
Okay. Good morning, Soufriere. I am Cletus Panadidier, Deputy Mayor. And as a council, we have been putting things in place for this hurricane season because we know how bad we can these things can hit us. So in terms of clearing drains and cleaning around, removing debris and things in the town, some of the main drains in Soufriere, we've at least about a month ago um, had been we have been working on them and clearing them. And for today into tomorrow, we have a emergency team in place if in case we were to be hit by Brett, to go around helping the people of Soufriere, taking care of their needs. We also have our workers in strategic areas in different communities. If in case they get hit by the storm, so they can communicate with our supervisors, so we can at least find ways to reach whoever is affected by the storm and assist. And these little things, we have an emergency vehicle in place on standby if we have to go around the different communities of Soufriere to assist people who have been affected by the storm. And these are some of the measures we have in place as a council. I am also calling on residents of Soufriere to take this storm seriously. We have had experiences in the past, and we know what it is, how hard these things can affect us, and not even on the day of the storm, but sometimes months and years to come. So, like Mr. Lascari said, let us be our brother's keeper. Let's do this thing as a unit, as one, and we know we are a resilient community. So let's be together if in case we are hit by this storm.
Could you speak to the various shelters for persons who are not aware?
Yes, okay. We have a list of our emergency shelters. One, we start from the north, Buto Combined School, and we do have a radio operator there in the name of Cleus Joseph, better known as Pitch. So we have a base radio at Buto. We have the Soufriere Comprehensive School, and we call it the shelter manager would be the school principal. A lot of our schools, the shelter managers are the school principals. We have the Etangs Combined School, which is also designated as a shelter in case anything goes wrong. We have Fosse-Jacques, the schools, the primary school in Fosse-Jacques. We have the parish center and also the preschool. The preschool is mostly held as a administrative part of it. Then in Soufriere town, we have the Seventh Days Adventist Church, the St. Isidore Hall, the infant and the primary schools on the Palace Road. And then we also have the Crisis Day Answer Church in Forbeni, in case anything.
Could you speak to the mobility as it pertains with the elderly?
Well, what would happen? We would have to find a list of the elderly persons in case they are vulnerable where they are, and we ask the fire service or the agencies to please bring them to safety.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
You're most
that
welcome.
clarification. We have a Soufriere constituency office here with us. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning. Okay. All right. Good morning. This is Reniata De Souza, Secretary of the Soufriere Constituency Office. I'm here to bring greetings from our parliamentary representative, Honorable Emma Hippolyte. She is currently out of Ireland, attending state matters in Cuba. So she has asked that we extend her greetings and ask that we urge our constituents to remain safe and to adhere to all the messages sent out by the government of St. Lucia, by NEMO, as well as the Office of the Prime Minister, as it is in regards to hurricane preparedness and preparedness for the storm Brett. And so we do want to ask persons to make sure they have stored enough water for their household and also secure all important documents in waterproof containers. We urge you to keep your medication and emergency items safe. Store non-perishables food items, as Sabrina said. Get your dry goods. I know typically we ask persons to get canned foods, salted biscuit cricks, non-perishables, things that will not spoil. Okay, so don't go and buy a case of chicken backs at this point in time. Try to remain conscious of what you are spending on. As Mr. Lascari said, make sure you have batteries, but also have your battery operated radio and have your flashlights. Also, make sure all your devices are charged. It would be great if you had power banks. Make sure everything is well charged. If you have livestock, make sure you secure all animals. Know the emergency shelters, as Mr. Lasker has just informed us, for your area. It is usually a church, school, or community center. Stay indoors until the all clear is given. All right. If you are noticing that there is debris in your yard or things that could go flying off with high winds, please clear it. Clear your debris from drains and gutterings as well. Secure all outdoor furniture. And if you must venture outdoors after the disaster, please proceed with caution and only trust news coming from official government pages such as the Office of the Prime Minister, the Government of St. Lucia, and NEMO. Okay, so if anything, if you need to contact the parliamentary representative's office, as I said, she's currently off island. However, I will be keeping the office phone. You can reach us at 731 3234 if you need any assistance.
Thank you so much for that. Let me go to Mr. Placid. Given the fact that usually with such a disaster, you find there is always a disruption in the water supply. And we saw an earlier message from Moscow. I think it's best fitting that you maybe tell the public about it.
Yes, I think Wasco has sent out a notice to the consumers, especially in Soufriere and more in the south, that they will be interrupting the water supply due to the area where the catchments are. Because what happened with the one we have at Ruby, I think it's prone to landslides when heavy rains. So if they don't shut it off, you get all that silt in the lines. So I think they did the proactive approach from Wasco is very good. I can commend them on that. And after the storm, normally it would take a while before we get drinking water, but if possible, so long as there are no possible great damages to the systems. But apart from that, I believe we, the consumers, need to save water because it is always said to us that whenever a storm passes, you need to have a good supply of drinking water. I think that's what it
At least for three
for
days.
3 days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for that.
On that note, let me see. I wish to commend the Soufriere Fisheries Corporation and the fisheries officer Rita for having the fishermen be proactive this time. So we find that they have removed all the vessels from by the sea on the water, and I think they put them in practically a safe place. So let me thank them for doing that, so that there's nobody during the high wind that has to go chase no vessel out there. Yeah, thank
I
you.
was actually going to ask you that in terms of the features.
Yeah.
Also emphasizing again curiosity. Most of the times when things are happening, we tend to venture towards danger. I would love for you to present a few pros and cons, especially with what we're expecting.
Okay. As you say that, I know we have that culture. If we hear a gunshot burst, we run towards this where we hear the sound instead of running away. Now, with the storm, what normally happens, we have a lot of curious people. Want to see how high that wave is and tell you I saw that wave 10 feet high, but they will not watch to see where that wave is going to hit them. Now, with the wind, we're going to receive 50 to 70 miles an hour. That's about hurricane strength, hurricane category 1. Now, category 1 can remove any roof anywhere based on how weak or how strong it is. Now, flying debris is something you don't know where it's coming from. And if you're going to venture out to say you want to watch the storm live, please watch the storm live and it don't take your life. Because a lot of people, they believe in adventure, and adventure to them is seeing it happen. So if you're going to see it happen, you see it happen at your own risk. Because if you're gone, you're not a hero at that time at all. And we need to inform our people that whenever the heavy rains and high winds, you stay indoors. Please stay indoors. We also have a little practice that whenever the rain or the wind is humming, that we go to the bars to chill out the storm. I think the police is quite aware that if in case there is a curfew out there, no one goes out, they need to enforce it. And they will enforce it to get everything moved.
But you made mention about person venture, and I do respect that. But what if persons are victim of circumstances where you get the roof being blown off, and they want to reach a safe haven?
Yeah, that is why I said there are neighbors, right? You are neighbors. God is not that bad to take off all roofs.
No, but what I'm saying, they have neighbors, you and their friends. I'm just,
Well, there are places.
it is truth, right?
You have to put aside your ego
Okay.
Right.
at times like this and do what you have to do.
You
They
might
have to
do
be
it,
united.
you might be, I might do it, but somebody else might.
Look for the closest shelter.
Vexation.
Yeah.
I'll get to the
That's right.
closest shelter that is near you,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we'll get the information somehow, and maybe have you entered some.
We spoke about, of course, persons at low-lying areas and all that, especially those on the river banks. In terms of the river, has it been desilted? Is it
Not
gonna
to my
cause any
knowledge.
problem? Is it going to cause a problem?
Let us hope not. Uh, I know they did that some time ago, but as of recent, let's say within the probably 3 months or so, I'm not too sure if it was. So
All right, so well, Nadia Casabo is saying, remember this, with a storm, there is no eye where people would tend to go out during this. Stay inside the entire time until it's an all clear is given.
She's right.
that is great advice.
All right.
That is good advice.
And you guys did made mention about having an emergency plan for your family if the roof blows off. All right. Where do you go? If your home is flooded, where do you go? All right. One thing, persons, I know some persons have some respiratory illness or just some problem, issues, sickness. Make sure you have your medication. All right. Make sure you go to the drugstore, the pharmacy, get yourself your medication. Because again, we don't know how long or the outcome of this. Okay, so if you have your granny need or your granddad or your aunt or your family, whatever family members, go get the medication. Everywhere closing 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Make sure if you're at work and you're hearing us, hey, shed a live, huh? Make sure you know for you have to shed because we have to raise the
Awareness.
we have to raise the awareness.
Awareness.
You understand? So shed a live, let persons know. All right. What else we have to touch on? Because around that time, so many things that we do. Boy, that's a sensitive matter again. We have to highlight as much as we can.
Mr. Soufriere, you touch a key point with people with health issues. I'm saying if you know that you have these pre-existing issues and you know we're approaching a hurricane or the hurricane season, these are things we have to put in place to protect ourselves. You know, that you can never know at whatever time you may have an asthma attack or something. And because of negligence, you know, then you have to suffer the consequences.
Which is true.
Ini dia pil sakai fei.
Yeah.
Upaya mesab.
For how long it's gonna
Dia
last?
lap muyo
Yeah.
upaya mesab.
And not just the medication, but you need to have the surplus of it again.
Yes.
You do not know the duration time.
Contingency
sure.
plan
And I'm
too.
happy you spoke of getting the necessary medications, but we also need to look at, in terms of evacuating, we need to know our documents are secured.
Safe.
That too.
Yes.
That
In
too.
Ziploc bags,
Ziploc
passport,
bags. All right.
bank cards,
Even your phone as well.
Yeah.
phone,
phone,
Ziploc
yeah.
bags. If you know you're vulnerable where you are.
Another thing again,
Protective
I know
bags.
persons, they have their little differences, especially when you have a neighbor they're dealing. Again, if you have trees in your yard, your backyard, and it's overhanging on the neighbor's property, or feel free to trim it. You understand?
The neighbor can also trim
Because
it if it's
that's
within
what
the-
I'm saying. Feel free to trim it without no animosity.
Yeah.
Persons are getting vexed. Oh, people go pay back. You understand? Because come to think of it, you never know when the wind is gonna uproot that tree And who knows, you too might be a victim. You understand?
We need to remember persons, especially force Jacques,
Livestock.
livestock.
Yes.
Yes, livestock.
The farmers, I think, your Catherine, your committee up there, right? I think they were supposed to inform the farmers that has the livestock to make sure that they are secured. Yeah, the poultries. Yeah, make sure they have them secured because we don't know what we're going to get.
The fishermen, you know, they nasty. I live in Nasty.
Yes, a lot of them
I know they. I know they
done
move.
that,
They
yes.
move the boats, but not the nets.
Some of the nets. The nets are not really in the water. It's the pots, the fish
Well, the
pots.
fish pots.
Yeah.
That is fish
Yeah, the
pots.
fish pots. Some of them may. Yeah, have time take off some. Yeah.
Also, can you kindly speak to us in terms of the river and the desilting process?
Well,
Well, no,
This is
no,
a
we're not the ones
This is-
making the
this is
decisions
the
on that.
ministry's-
That should
And
have happened already.
we don't have the information.
No, but
Okay,
Yes, the
remember,
ministry
we only,
personnel, they are the
again,
ones
we
who.
only 22 days inside it.
this is true.
Yes, that's true.
But every precaution, I think.
So
Like
I am
if-
sure within that time,
Yeah.
something probably will be done.
Okay,
yes.
most definitely.
Yes.
14 minutes after the hour of 11 a.m. It's Service Solution and, of course, the Eastern Caribbean. Anything else you wish to share with the listening audience?
I am also calling on the residents or whatever area that if you notice a clogged drain, a gutter that is blocked or something, do your part. Don't only wait for the authorities to come and do it. I mean, particularly, and it's not too late now to do it. You know.
Well, you're supposed to do it now, because
Yes.
you're going to
So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So at least if a gutter is blocked or drain or something, let us do what we supposed to do to help the situation.
And of course, the
Even protecting ourselves as well and property.
EMTs, fire personnel, police, hey, what beyond got it? That's what I'm saying. All right,
They're on.
Huh?
They're on from last night. We
All
had
right.
meetings.
Well, okay. I'm just saying, a general reminder, because something beyond that.
And for those cell phone users, we have text messages coming from the cell phone companies, which are informing us that St. Lucia is under hurricane watch.
The government just put out a notice.
Please,
as well.
no, I'm talking about those with the cell phone. So everybody has a cell phone. Practically in St. Lucia, everybody carries a cell phone. Check your text messages. Stay inside. Do not venture out unless it is safe for you to do so. Unless the all clear is given by government, by NEMO, and any other authority in charge. Please be safe. This is my message to you. I want to see all of us after the storm. Thank you.
Let us adhere to the advisories. If anything, we should remember Hurricane Thomas. Some people were laissez-faire. We did not take it too serious, and we saw the end result, what it brought us, the hardship. Up to today, we are still grappling with the effects of Hurricane Thomas. So people take it serious.
With that being said, this is where we end our discussion. Hurricane preparedness. Again, I need to just reinforce persons need to adhere to the necessary health tips. Please stay inside as much as you may be curious, but you can help save your life and others as well. Thank you so much for coming in. This is where we say keep it locked. Have a productive day. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Au revoir.
You're welcome.